Collins. And we can look down in the mine.
Right. Surely D.
Oh, a few minutes, sorry. No.
Sounds like a car. That isn't.
Right, I'll give you looking at this beat since the early 90s. Has a documentary evidence for the use of suction lift pumps in the mine over at Lockridge Hill, thereabouts, in 1480. And I looked at the site, couldn't see any sign of where they would get the water to drive the water wheel. And then I remembered that the leak had been identified by previous archaeologists in the Tavy Valley, running from the River Lumburn right along the high side of the high above the Tavy itself. And then went and looked at that and found that the leak actually crossed the low point between the Tavy and the Tamar into the Tamar catchment, and actually came round quite near this station, round there, heading for Lockridge Hill. Trouble is, the railway, when it came from Tavistock down to Plymouth via Alston, had taken the same route. So a lot of the evidence for the leak was lost. There was a certain amount that would be identified as hedge alignment. And that's what we're going to look at next. The final hedge alignment before you go in towards the mine. Both against railway and the bridge and see the last section. Taking back up to River Lumburn, to the west of Tavistock. In length, the leak's about 16 miles long. And it took its water from one of the tributaries of the River Lumburn. The trouble is, there's no water there now because Devon Great Council has drained all that area in the.
You know Devon Great Consols?
Yeah.
It's that big heap, piece of junk on the hill over there.
Almost every day.
So there's no water there to feed the lake, but you can see the earthworks quite clearly coming off that tributary to the Lumburn. And you can trace it round high above the River Tavy. We'll go and look at two sections of that where they've taken the leak through rocks, actually tunneled through. So those tunnels are crystal attention. Now, the reason why they brought the leak in like that was they wanted the water to come to a water wheel directly over the shaft. Measure the shaft. The pumps are in the shaft. You've got a water wheel over the top, and you want the water to come over the water wheel. 150 years later, you would have put transmission rods in. You put the water wheel down there somewhere in the valley and put transmission rods up to the pumps in the shaft. But they didn't have that technology in the 15th century, so they had to bring the water in directly over the water wheel. So it's quite a feat, really, to survey and find a source of water, survey it and bring it in directly to the mine, directly over the water wheel, directly over operating the pumps.
Is it unique? Because it says on the internet it's unique.
I've not seen anything else anywhere else. So lots of other leak systems in the area from the 16th, 17th century, usually providing water into Plymouth.
Right.
Drake's Leak and things like that. They're all much, much later.
Right.
But they would source water supply, not feeding into pumping systems. I'll say, 100, 150 years later, you have the transmission rods, so you could put the water wheel somewhere else where there's a good supply of water and transmit power up to the pumps up the hill.
All right. So how long are these essentially these transmission rods?
Well, it can be half a mile long.
Really? Oh, boy.
Later mines have some quite extensive transmission rods, but they weren't there in the 15th century.
Right.
So you had to bring the water in directly into the mine on top of the wheel.
I didn't know they existed now.
Yeah. Say the longest could be like a mile, yeah? But obviously it was divided into sections, yeah?
We looked at it in sections. The link is continuous.
Yeah, I meant I'm talking about the transmission rods.
Oh, the transmission rods, yeah.
Yeah.
So
what was the
mile
longest single rod.
Oh, the rods themselves will be as long as you get through.
Okay, yeah.
You can look at wooden transmission rods. You know,
So they weren't made of metal or wood.
the later ones were, but most of the early ones were wood.
Right.
And if you were looking at running a set of transmission rods for outside, you have to balance rods and compensate for the weight. So all you wanted was enough movement to operate the pumps in the shaft.
And I was going to do that kind of thing because went to London. Price will be the time yeah, you thought that, but anyhow.
So wait for me. Oh. Oh.
That is, the ditch you see this side of the hedge is probably the leat itself. They've used it as a hedge line. But of course, beyond here, it's lost underneath the 19th century, early 20th century railway.
That's the road over.
We know that the pumps are somewhere, trees over in the distance there, Lockridge Hill, somewhere there, or possibly a bit towards this side, towards Gulchmead. Yeah. The lead deposit running virtually from south to north, and they were aware that as far as this point here, and there are a number of addicts driven in from this low ground here into the workings. So the pumps are somewhere in this area in front of us. So it's more likely at Lockridge Hill. The Crown, even when it leased out the mines to other individuals, retained an interest in Lockridge Hill, get that under Crown control. You'll probably find the shaft was somewhere there. So I say this hedge alignment, you should be able to fail to trace it, but it would have gone in a loop around Thomas. And the water was brought in round there, coming in this direction, heading for somewhere over there. Exactly where, don't know. So this is the final section of the leaf you can see before we reach the mines. And the mines were. We'll see anyway in sections later on.
We're walking on
you
top
can see
of
a definite earthworks of the leaf themselves. 3 to 4 feet wide and possibly 2 3 feet deep.
And that's Colin's farm in there.
It's coming round.
Outside.
Water starts off with Lumburn and he's brought all the way in. So water here.
A nasty sheep there.
The deposits run from here down at Ware Quay,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, there's
about there, here, Cleve, where that chimney is, and it run due north, and you can see them. That's the line of the deposits, and you don't see anything north of Gold Street. Fair enough. They did find the same deposits on the same alignment at Buttsville, but much later. So the medieval workings were from Gold Street down to Ware Quay. They were worked most extensively in this area here, and here at Firs Hill there is the first of the drainage adits comes from just in that wood there, due east up into the workings, and that was in place by 1320. Subsequently they've driven much deeper adits from lower down here, and there's one which comes from well over here near Whitsom up into the workings, up into that direction into Lockridge Hill. But that's much that might not reach the mines in the medieval period.
Lockridge Bridge. Doesn't call it Lockridge Hill.
Yeah. So, you know, as I say, some of the pumps were somewhere in that hedge alignment there, and so the water would have come from. We know where it runs through Millhill Farm, Tuckerbridge. It's lost under the railway here, but must have then gone round. You see, if you follow the contours round, it must have come round somewhere like that. But a lot of that is lost under the railway now.
It's coming from down there.
Yeah, well,
Certainly,
the source, leaving silver-rich minerals behind.
And was this lead ever supplying the South Tamar consoles, or was that a bit too far?
No. It just went as far as there, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah, South Tamar and the other mines down on the river much later, and they would very difficult to use water power down there. They came into their own when steam power came along. From the late 18th century onwards.
Right.
Then you've got steam power, you can get drain underneath the river.
You mentioned then the year 1320. Would the Leat have been in existence that early?
No, 1480.
adits are not leats. Adits are drains cut in the hillside
Yeah, I
to
know.
allow the water. You do.
Did I say adits or leats? I meant
Adits.
the leat. Leat dates from about 1480.
1480, that one was constructed. The pumps were in at 1480, the leak was constructed to feed those pumps specifically. No other purpose whatsoever.
Kind of an engineering job for the
Oh
farm.
yeah, it's quite just surveying that in.
I mean, with
getting
this,
it across the low ground
it was
between the
16 miles.
Tavy and the Tamar.
do you know how they would have actually surveyed it?
Well, as they do these days, with line of sight, thinking theodolites, basic early theodolites.
I didn't think they had that technology that
Yeah,
early.
they had ways of doing it. Maybe they weren't telescopic, but you'd be using sort of alignments using pieces of timber and align a strip of timber.
I thought they might have been using long hoses or something like that.
Well, the skill was there. We know it's there because they managed to achieve, 16 kilometres of leat and get it over that low ground and into the mine.
Kilometres or miles?
Kilometres.
16 kilometres, 16 miles earlier. I get mixed up.
We'll run it a bit later. Don't worry.
The crazy thing is, that was further than most people went in their lives in those days. Most people never left the parish.
It's further than I've gone for years already.
They brought miners in the late 13th century, early 14th century. They brought miners in from Derbyshire because they had the hard rock skills there. They weren't available in the southwest. Most of the mining in the southwest was for tin, which the skills they did use tinners to work in the mines, but the real hard rock skills came from Derbyshire.
Yeah, somewhere I saw about the 8th or every 7th brought down the miners from Derbyshire.
They kept going and
Gave them a month to get here.
Yeah. You see, like Coombe Martin, they were investigating Coombe Martin in the late 13th century, but not very productive. They couldn't get down deep enough. They came into their own in the 16th century, again with miners coming from elsewhere into the area and achieving, with suitable pumps, getting down deep into the workings. and they were quite rich, quite productive in the late 16th, early 17th century. Whereas these mines had got to the point where they couldn't get any deeper, and they were just in abeyance until steam pumping came on in the 18th century, and they started to get down below the medieval workings.
Yeah, because I don't think we had deep shaft mining until about
Some of the medieval workings were up to 50 feet deep.
And I said,
50 feet.
Yeah.
got two for the price of
But,
mine.
to get below that, you needed powerful
As it
pumps.
was, somebody didn't turn up. He was quite happy.
Anyway, well done.
We lost two, have we?
So one man's rubbish is another man's treasure.
Oh,
isn't it?
Apparently they found somewhere else, so
Got
they
an
got to
allotment,
pick their
and that's it.
caravan
Any
up.
old
There we go. What, 104? Like Dinham. Dinham's about 104. Well, there's a couple of lay-bys up here, but I don't know about any grass verges. But he's the man in charge. I'd have gone down the side road.
Is this the junction, is it? Just up here?
Yeah, this is where, that's the Brownell Road, yeah. So we got to park up somewhere. And there's a grass verge apparently.
Except it's on the left.
Well, it's gravelly, I wouldn't say it's grassy. Oh, there's a bit of grass here. Oh, that's a gate. Oh, okay. Oh, you can park down there if you want. Or
And one down
you
there.
go down there.
That one's locked, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've now come down here because the gate we were going to go down was locked.
Yeah, keep.
Are they happy with it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's
Good. Good
Always are.
job you came along.
Grade 12? Since 2012?
Like a good Boy Scout. Crumbs.
Head down.
You got to
Going
go.
down?
Oh, blimey.
Are we going down?
That's so luck.
Are you coming up again?
Hopefully.
I'll wait here.
Right here, you don't want to look at the tunnel? No.
I will wait here. I'm not coming
Are there any holes to look at?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it is.
I'm not sure my legs are going to manage it, but. Oh, God. Ah! Couldn't pass my camera to you, can I? I don't have to drop it, I need both my hands, because let me just do a little bit of a, sorry,
That's right.
interfere with your pleasure. Right, no, stay there, fine. Lovely, all those rocks. You carry on, you carry on. I'm just speaking to myself, really. Don't fall down their feet. Oh. Oh, God. It's a bit of rock, isn't it?
Like railway line. Yeah. I managed to see it.
They've all gone down there. But I don't think I.
Side apparently.
Out the other side, how far? How far?
Well, it goes right through, but if there's a bit of a collapse there.
Oh, I'm not going in
If
there.
you go in,
Right.
and you can look over
See over it.
over it, and you'll see the continuation of the tunnel.
Right.
Excuse me.
Everybody out.
Take that torch.
Alright.
Powerful enough.
Right. See you later. If I'm not out in 10 minutes. Oh, come on, see me. Come and get me. Please. Oh, cool, blimey. Wow!
There's another level of pain.
Oh! Painful. Well, there it is. And it's quite a long tunnel. Well, I've got to get out. Ah! Oh! My gold! Fuck me! Well, this is the actual channel, sorry, that the water ran through from that tunnel, or into that tunnel. So,
Like
Got
we
interesting,
did,
but
you
not that
do.
much.
They can
I
play about all
didn't
the land
realise it
reclamation
was
going
so
on.
as a Patchwood grammar school.
Neolithic
Cheap
monument.
artifying colours.
might be.
Children have me. I'm dyslexic, you see.
I dance around it.
So,
Yeah, but usually
and then
farmers
I passed my 13 plus.
give them